guys, welcome to my art channel. Thanks for stopping by to make some art with me. For more free art lessons, you could press the button below and subscribe right there on that red button. And I will see you really soon. Now let's get to making some art. Bye-bye. Hi guys, welcome to Mixed Media. Today we are going to make this super cool looking fish. You will need some pieces of cardboard. These are just from Amazon boxes or whatever, boxes from the mail. You'll need school glue or Elmer's glue, the liquid, a good pair of scissors, and crayons or crayons. I prefer crayons because I think they're just much more vibrant. So let's get started. I'm going to put my little fish down over here. And I'm going to show you how I drew, actually, I'm going to bring him back up. Whoops. I'm going to show you how I drew him first, okay? I love him. He's so bright and colorful and funny. Okay, so to draw this fish, I started with a kind of squarish C shape, like that. You can see it doesn't, I didn't close it, but it's kind of like the letter C, but it's squarish. And then I'm just going to bring it down and that line up a little bit there. And I'm going to make a big giant mouth. Like that. Now it looks like a bubble letter C. And then for the tail, I just made a triangle without the point on top. So I made two like diagonal lines coming down and then a straight line across. So you have a C and I have the big mouth, and I think I'm going to make his mouth a little bit smaller, and I could do that just by doing like that. If you want, you can even cut teeth in here, which might be a little hard to cut, but we'll see. Like that. Okay? If you want teeth, they're just going to be upside down triangles. So now I'm going to put my fish over here and we are going to cut. So I find the easiest way to cut cardboard is to cut in pieces because it's hard to get through it. So I'm going to cut down here as far as I can go. And then I'm going to cut this way. It's a little harder than cutting through paper, so it just makes it easier if you cut in separate pieces. And then I'm going to try this way. I don't think I'll make it all the way down. Let's see. Oh, maybe I will. I have a pretty sharp scissor, so it might be a little harder. But it's going to be hard for me to get into this curve, so I'm going to cut straight down here. And that'll give me some space to get my scissor in. Oops. And I think I'm going to cut them on the outside of these lines to make them a little bigger. So if you're working with a small scissor, it's going to take a little bit of patience and work to get your fish cut out. If your hand gets tired, just take it out of the scissor and shake it out a little bit. Okay, so I have my basic shape here. I'm just going to work on the mouth. And again, I'm going to do it in pieces because it makes it easier. So I find, because I have all these angles, I find just cutting in close and getting rid of any excess before cutting the angles will make it a little bit easier. Now this mouth is going to be tricky because it has a curve in it. So I'm just going to do it a little bit at a time. I'm going to cut this part off so I can get in a little bit closer. Okay, now I can get in closer to those angles in his mouth because I cut right up to the teeth. And it's easier to cut a straight line than to cut a curve. Just got one more little piece there. I'm just gonna rip it off from the back. There we go. Okay. It's okay if it's not perfect because once you color it in, it's gonna look awesome. Okay. Now, I have a bunch of scraps over here. I'm gonna hold on to them. I'm not gonna throw them out because I could use them to decorate my fish. So now that we have him cut out, there's a couple things you might want to add. You might want to add a fin or some hair or some fun things on the tail or some eyes. So I'm going to show you how to cut out the eyes first. So you can draw them. I chose round eyes, but you can do any shape you want. You could do square eyes. And again, I'm trying to just get in as close as possible, and which will make it easier to cut around. So there's one. All right, so I cut out his eyes, and now I think I'm going to give him some spikes like this. So these are just triangles. So you can go to your scraps, you might even have a triangle. Look at this scrap, it's already a triangle. So I'm going to just trim that up, and I'm going to use that to go behind his head. The triangle's pretty tall, so I'm gonna, and I have another scrap that looks kind of like a triangle. This makes life easier because I don't have to do as much cutting. And I'm gonna do one more triangle, and I think I might be able to get it out of this guy. Super easy to cut from the scraps. All right, so I've got his spiky hair. And I'm just going to add some little spikes on his tail. And these are rectangles. If you look on this side, they're just long strips. And I bet I can find a bunch of those already. Right here. Maybe I can cut this in half. That's why I keep my scraps. Okay, I was lucky. I found lots of these strips here, so I don't have to cut too many. All right. The other thing that you can cut is a little fin, and that would be, oh, actually, I might be able to use this because it's in this sort of a shape. If you don't have a piece like that, you can just draw a shape, a fin, kind of looks like a U, and you're just going to cut something out that looks like this, that shape, and just decide the size that you want. I don't know if I'm going to have to cut that out. I'm going to check this out. I think this piece of scrap works perfectly, so I'm going to use that, and I'll save this scrap for another time. Okay, I think I'm ready to glue my pieces on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by gluing some pieces on the back. So I'm going to glue the hair, the spiky hair and the spiky tail on the back of my fish. And I'm not going to put the glue on the pieces. I'm actually going to put it on the fish. I think it's easier to use. I'll go this way. This is the top of his head. Put a little glue there. And stick these right on. And I can pick it up and take a look at it and say, oh, these are really long. Maybe I can make them a little bit shorter by pushing them down like that. And then I'm going to add those spikes on his tail. His tail fin. So when you're working on a project like this with cardboard, don't use a glue stick. It's not strong enough to hold it. The Elmer's or the school type of glue, the liquid glue, is much better. I'm going to put my spikes on. You know, the only thing about Elmer's glue is you do have to let it dry. If I turn this over to work on it now, these pieces will fall off and the glue will drip all over my table. So I'm just going to let these dry for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the eyes. Okay, so now that our spikes and our tail spikes are dry, we can put the eyes on. We can work on the front of it. So I'm just going to glue my eyes on, and I think I'm going to have them coming off his face a little bit. Like that. If I pick it up, they'll probably move, but I just want to show you. And I have to let his eyes dry. So he needs a good 20 minutes or so for those eyes to dry. And when we come back, we can start coloring him in. Now that we've given our fish time to dry and everything's pretty much in place, we are ready to color. And we're going to use Craypas. I love using Craypas because they're so bold and bright. And I just love the way they kind of blend together. You can use multiple colors. So let's take a look at this guy. I have used so many different colors on this fish. I just went really crazy, and you can go crazy like I did, or you can be simple, however you want to do it. So I'm just going to start with the eyes, and I'm just going to color them in. They have quite a bit of other colors mixed on there. I'm just going to clean it off. Sometimes the Craypas pick up the other colors, and you could just color it right off on another piece of paper. And if they break off from the sticks, that's fine, they're still usable. And also, with the Craypas, if you find that it's getting flat, you just peel the paper a little bit, and then you have a new top, a new point to it. We're just going to color in our eyes, and you can use, I think, circular motions, because if you use the part of the cardboard that has ridges, which is the corrugated part, it's a little hard to get into those nooks and crannies. So if you move around in a circular motion, it's easier to cover it, this space. And I'm going to go to my second eye. And make sure that you gave this sufficient time to dry. I would say a minimum of a half hour, and if you can wait an hour, even better. Okay, so for the inside of my eyes, I just took a black Craypas and made little dots. Like so. And the next thing I did was the mouth, and I took a red, a nice bright red, and I made really big fish lips. I think I'll outline it so you could see how I did the lips. It'll be easier this way. So what I'm doing is I'm coloring in. I made like another little C shape here for the lips, and I'm going to color that in red. And again, I'm finding it easier to cover more space if I go in little circles. Like so. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to outline that mouth with a black Craypas so it really stands out. Like that. Next, I'm going to color his teeth. And you could use white or yellow, whatever. I don't know what color fish teeth are, so I'm going to do them white. Maybe they're not this bright white. Maybe they're a little more yellowish. I don't know what kind of fish this is. Some kind of crazy fish. Very colorful. Found far, far out, deep in the ocean. Okay, so I have my teeth colored in. And now I'm going to do my spikes on his head. Now let's see. I like to use a lot of bright colors, so I'm going to pick a bright green. I finished his spikes. I like that bright green color. And now I'm going to do these spikes back here. And I think I'm going to do a different color. I'll do purple. I like purple. You can do the spikes all different colors if you like. They don't have to be just one color. Alright, so I have his spikes done in the back and on top, and I'm ready to color in the fish's body. So we can go any way. We can go completely crazy, and I think I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first part, I did a lot of wiggly, wavy lines here. And I'm going to draw them out in black so you can see them. And I'm going to color in each of those sections a different color. So I'm going to make him into a rainbow fish. And I'm going to start with red right in the front. Kind of the same color as his mouth. That's okay. And I'm going to color every little section a different color. I did red and orange, and I'm going to do some yellow. Just get a little bit of yellow in that spot. Now I'm coloring really fast, and I'm going very fast because you're watching me on the video, but that doesn't mean you have to work so fast. You can pause the video and take your time and color in as slowly as you want. There's no need to rush through this. Take your time and enjoy, because it's fun to color. And I'm almost done with the body of my fish. I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to do some 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 yellow And while I'm coloring this, I'm trying to figure out how I want to color his tail. And I think I know. So I have made him a rainbow. One thing I want to do is I want to outline in between, there it is, with black, so the colors are separated. Like that. I think it makes them stand out a little bit more. And now for his fin, I've decided I want to do zigzags in his fin. Like that. And I'm going to color the zigzags differently too. Now, if I had more time, I would probably make more zigzags. But I'm just going to color this in so you can get an idea. I'm going really quickly. If you look at this fish, I spent a lot of time and I worked really hard coloring it. And this fish I'm doing a lot more quickly. So I hope that you spend more time and don't rush through it like I am. I just want to be able to show you how to do this and then leave it up to you to fill in your fish with your own brilliant ideas and make it your own special creation. I think we need some bright orange. Don't have enough bright orange. And I'm going to outline those colors again, like I did these. And this is what I have so far. Oh, he's fun. I like him. But I think I'm going to do just a couple little details. Like for instance, I'm going to make some lines in this zigzag over here, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to just put a little pattern in there like that. And maybe I could do something, I think, in his spiky hair. I'm going to just put some black lines. And there you have it, a crazy cardboard fish. I love this guy. He's super fun. I think it'd be fun if I could hang him from a string somewhere or put him on my wall. He's nice and bright and silly. I hope you enjoyed making your crazy fish, and I will see you really soon. Bye-bye.